Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hello.
Once a week, Catherine and I like to give you a second round of conversation on TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. So actually, our first topic is somewhat parenting related because we have dipped our toes back into So You Think You Can Dance, the Next Generation again, which has this season brought in young children to over choreograph, run down
over
to the last bit of energy, over costume, over makeup, and break their little beating hearts. So this seemed like a bad idea to us when we were watching the auditions. So we just took a little break, and we have now come back in. We have the final 10. In last week's episode, they performed. This week, they performed again, and one of them went home, and it was just exactly as heart-wrenching as you would expect, telling a preteen that her dreams have been crushed. But there's nothing wrong with number 10. Everybody
You came in 10.
With number 10, Nigel, come on. She doesn't care that there were 5,000 kids who did worse.
Right.
I still think that this seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know if I can keep going because, it's, first of all, it's heartbreaking because you just feel so, the entire 2-hour show, I was worrying about the ending and how.
Did you watch last week's also or just this week's?
I did. I actually watched the previous week, and that one was more fun to watch because it was just sort of celebrating the top 10.
It was fun to watch, but already you can see somebody didn't think through preteen child, grown adult Latin dances.
Yeah,
that is never going to be okay. Any ballroom really is dicey. Okay.
Right.
So, and it was again uncomfortable this year. And I wonder if the kid who went home was hurt to some degree by the fact that dancing with her bro was kind of squicky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And those ballroom were the only ones where they have opposite sex pros.
Yeah. And the little boy and Jenna is I guess it's sexist to say it's less disturbing. It's still it's just, he can look up her skirt pretty much without doing much of anything. He's little and she's not. And it's just weird. Yeah. It's just weird all the way around. But anyway, going back to this, I'm sorry, you were talking about
I was just saying that, it's hard to watch. It was hard to watch the whole show just knowing that at the end of it, some poor kid was going to get booted, and as they tried to be like, and in 10th place, instead of being like, and the loser this week.
Yes,
is.
exactly.
But
that was uncomfortable.
That
and was
really
she not
didn't
at
help.
the very end there? Was she not there? I think she was not.
There?
I think she was
Did
off
she
stage,
hustle off stage?
I think she was off stage bawling, probably. I don't know. They talked to her pro, but I didn't see her. Maybe I have old eyes and she was there beaming and being a pro child, but I don't think so.
Well, that's my other issue is that they are just so performing all the time and so constantly cute, and it's hard to watch. It just feels so fake to me. And I do have 2 kids that I like, but overall it's hard to watch, I think. So I don't know.
Yeah, I question why. They said a couple of times, I think, we're working these kids really hard, like that was a good thing. And it's like, what they did, if you count were they in the opening? Yeah, they were in the opening number, and then they each had
3.
No, they had, didn't they each do 2 dances with their pro and 2 dances with their partner? So they had 5
it 2
dances.
With their pro? I thought it was 1 with their pro.
They did because they had to go through the whole cycle again to fill the hour.
Oh.
Because the kids were dancing in teams. So that's
I know they did 2
dances for 1 2-hour thing. I'm pretty sure they each did 2 with their pro. I could be wrong. But
then there was another group dance, and then the pros all did a group dance. And stop.
Why do you have to put kids this age through that many pieces of choreography.
Mm-hmm.
Why not let them do one and do it sensationally with a lot of practice, or two? You know,
Right.
last week the two seemed okay. This week it was just ridiculous. These are little kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, somebody on Twitter said, their bodies are still developing. You can't work them this hard. It's
Right.
not right. You know, and there was a bunch of dance in the rehearsal where they're saying, oh, if you land wrong on that, you're going to be injured. And I'm like, these are little kids. What is the matter with you? Take that choreography out. The two girls don't have to be dancing so that they might crack their heads on the chest of drawers.
Right.
That is not necessary. You could put together a perfectly entertaining show that would showcase their ability without putting them in physical danger. Stop it.
Yeah.
What is the matter with these people?
I know.
If I were a parent, I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
it's thrilling
luckily we're not seeing the parents anymore, which we did not enjoy.
Yes, that is true. You know, but this is times 10 weeks now that they're going to do this much.
Right.
It's really hard on the adult contestants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you always see they've always got injuries by the end.
Right.
It just, you know, somebody is like, you know, Children and Family Services aware of what's going on here. Is somebody keeping an eye? And I also had to laugh.
Don't you, like, when kids are on TV and movies, aren't there a lot of really strict rules about how much time and does this, like, not count for that? Or how, you know, maybe there's no rules for reality type or competition.
Maybe. I don't know. Or they're really quick studies, or they've been working on this choreography for months. You know, maybe they just gave everybody these things and said, you know, but that's certainly not the way they're presenting it. They're presenting it, look at these kids. They learned all these dances. Isn't that great?
Right.
The judges can't be too mean, which is nice, but they also, as always, overpraise. You know, everything's wonderful.
Which is not...
When you can objectively see that one kid was looking at his partner all the time because they didn't have it. They weren't together. It's a bad style for this particular kid. I looked up ages because it seemed like some of those boys are really young. And they're actually pretty close in age to the girls, which is, I think, a demonstration of the fact that girls mature more quickly. You know, because some of those girls look pretty mature.
Yeah.
And some of those boys look like they're just out of kindergarten, but they're all like ages 10 through 14. So it's just, you know, it's uncomfortable sometimes to watch.
Yeah.
You know, at least they tried to, this time I don't know, they said they just pulled their names out of the hat, but they paired them by height and age relatively well as you could. But
yeah, I thought that some of the pairings were interesting and fun to watch. But overall, I think I prefer watching them with their pro. Yeah.
You know, it's hard because the problems with the pro is the kids who are ballroom dancers are kind of out of luck because it is uncomfortable watching them dance with their pros. But the other kids, I don't think that they have any matchups that are appropriate. I mean, I think there were like 2 ballroom girls and 1 ballroom boy, but the boy is little, so he's not going to look that appropriate with those girls either. And then otherwise, you wind up the one girl was dancing with a boy who doesn't know ballroom, and so it was, you know, it was compromised. So I just think that it's not well thought through. So now, Maddie Ziegler, is that somebody you know? Have you watched Dance Moms? Do you know her? No. I know her very little.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter has watched Dance Moms here, and so I've seen snippets of it, but I don't like it, and you know, I feel like with her, it's all. You know, she has very little to say.
Yes.
She's not exactly, you know, a seasoned critic or judge that can provide a lot of insight. I mean, it's hard enough for the adults to come up with something to say that is not mean, you know, but that it isn't like gushing. I mean, there's no middle ground. So
I have to say with Maddie, the thing I was most impressed with her, and really one of the things I was most impressed with the whole show, was her excellent, excellent hair work in the rehearsal segments. She was standing and the hair was gushing over one shoulder and then on the other shoulder. They had like somebody had to have gone and placed that hair because it was just.
Oh, I'm sure.
She was just so fab, standing there with her hair, watching them.
Well, if she's anything like my 14-year-old, she probably spends a lot of time on it.
It's the proper ratio of over the shoulder, behind the back.
Right. Waves and curls.
So you have the maximum waves off your face. I could just that was I wish I could score that. But yeah, it was I think that the promoting of the Ice Age using child contestants is icky.
Yes.
I wish they did not do that. And the opening numbers, those should be the kids and their all-stars, right?
Yeah.
But I swear I don't see some of the all-stars there. Maybe it's because they have so much makeup and garbage on them, but I have not seen Gabby in any of those all-star things. She must be there, right?
She must be there.
I feel like I would recognize her. And it just seems like there's maybe some ringers. Maybe some of the all-stars said, I will dance with a child. I'm not doing one of those stupid intro numbers again. Put it in my contract. Right. I am not doing one of those stupid intro numbers.
Oh, that's funny.
They are uncomfortable. And then we had still, again, the So You Think You Can Dance disease of dances about stuff. You know,
it's a dance about
bullying. And I think we're all happy now that So You Think You Can Dance has come out against bullying.
Thank goodness
bullying
they took a stand.
Cool. Dancing with the Stars being against bullying has not quite turned the tide, but I feel confident now that Paula Abdul and Nigel Lithgow have agreed that bullying is not cool. Kids will go, oh, well, what was I thinking?
Good now, yeah.
And then there was another piece that was about a broken home.
Right.
But to me, it looked like it was mostly just about cleaning up your room
cleaning up a messy room.
I'm not sure. Were they had the mother and the child gone to a hotel and she was unpacking her suitcase? I don't know how that was about a broken home. That was one of many problems with that dance, but not with the kids, not with their effort, with the adults who thought, hey, how about if they slid around on towels around something with sharp corners? That could be fun. Oh my goodness! Just the parent in me is going. Yeah. No.
And I don't have my teen correspondent here to provide her insight because she is at camp with no electricity.
Oh, no. Well, she'll have to watch a whole bunch of them and then give you her comments.
Yeah, because I don't think I can watch it anymore.
Okay, so this is gonna be it for us. We're checking out.
What do you think? I mean, I
am fine with that. I mean, from the show's point of view, your daughter likes it. My daughter likes it. I bet they must have demographic stuff saying that a lot of kids watch the show. Right. And kids aren't going to have any of these problems we have. We're having problems with this. They're like, wow, look at those kids. They're really cool. So maybe this is how they keep the show going, and in which case, good for them. But they're going to lose all the moms and dads. Well, there probably weren't dads in the audience. All the adults in the audience who were saying, that seems like a really bad idea. Don't do that. Why are you working these kids so hard? Why are you making them learn all these different styles? How old is that? That JT just looks like he's like I think he's actually 10 or 11. His Twitter bio says he's 10. Because of course he has one. But it's just not a comfortable viewing experience. And one of the more mature kids in the I think he's one of the oldest. Kidda is how they said his name.
Some people say Kidda and some say Kidda.
Anyway, I really liked him and his personality, and he seems to be the closest to an age at which I don't feel uncomfortable with him being put through these paces. Right. But what did he do to the costuming department? I don't know. But yellow knee socks and shorts.
Right. And
he should just, there's
that was one of Maddie's better lines when she said, "You guys look like highlighters."
I mean, but she looked cute. She had pants. Why couldn't he have pants? The bright yellow is bad enough, but she had pants and a jacket and a little crop top. And he's a 14-year-old guy in shorts and knee socks, unless you're like in a British prep school movie. You don't want to be wearing shorts and knee socks when you're 14 years old. That was just awful. And the overalls he had to wear for his other number,
his
also
farmer
not
number.
his farmer number. I
Oh,
mean,
barf. That was bad.
did he do something to the
Yeah.
somebody who was in charge of deciding those things? Because they did not do that guy any favors this week. I still like him, and when he was getting to sit in a chair and be himself, he was still delightful. But he's got to be a little worried. I think he's got to buy some flowers for people this week. Somebody who's in charge of him needs
help
to
a guy out, please.
pass around some envelopes, I think. Also, we're getting to the end of this, especially if you're not going to watch anymore. But classic Fosse with preteens, I think, never a good idea. No. Those are two words, Fosse
that
and
don't
children.
go together.
I do not want to see together. Right. So, aye.
Mm-hmm.
This I think confirmed. I mean, I won't say I wasn't entertained. I mean, they're cute kids. They're doing good. Some of them are mugging to within an inch of their lives. I think they needed to get they're probably strained their mugging muscles. But I will be happy to come back to this show when there are adults who are going to use this to advance their careers and get jobs out of them, and will have the physical ability to do these things and take it seriously. Right. This, I might dip in when they're down to the last couple. But oh my gosh, if they're learning this many dances now, when there's less than 10 kids, what the heck?
I know. How are they going to keep filling up 2 hours every week?
1 hour. Make it 1 hour, or make it 1 hour with these kids and then 2 hours and then another hour with other things. It's just, yikes. It's too much. Yeah. It is. Okay. So, all right. We've had our rant on that. Those of you who disagree, I'm sure, have a couple of things we put out there on Twitter. It seems like there are more than just us uncomfortable with this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think our listeners are watching this, but if you are and you want to tell us that we really have to keep going, then come and let us know.
Well, tweet at us on Roundabout Chat, and or go to our Facebook page, and we will take your criticisms. But now you are a skate mom.
Yes.
Does this sort of thing is not necessarily as foreign to you as it would be to me. The putting of kids through things and having them perform.
Right. Right. I mean, when you're talking,
it still makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about like the partners, I mean, my kid, when she does ice dance, has to dance with an adult partner, and she's been doing that since, little girls do that starting at 6 or 7 years old, with an adult male partner. Mm-hmm. So, it's not, but it's not Latin. It's not like these super sexy, it's ice dance. They're doing like waltzes, and I mean, they do have some Latin influenced dances, but they are higher levels. So, I mean, there is a tango that you do pretty early on, but it's not, it's not like this. So,
yeah. Some of those dresses this week also were uncomfortable. You don't cut the dress down that low and that high on a 13 or 14-year-old girl, please.
Right. Exactly.
Or even maybe 12. I can't remember which one it was. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, going from crazy child dancers to crazy ex-girlfriends, you actually caught up with that show, and
this is a show that it's been on, I think it debuted last fall. It's on the CW. And I've been kind of meaning to watch it all along. It
seems like the kind of thing you would like.
It seems like the kind of thing I would like because it's like rom-com-y, but it also has the influence of Adam Schlesinger, who is one of the singers and songwriters behind Fountains of Wayne, which is a band that I really love.
Me too.
And so Crazy Ex-Girlfriend has a lot of songs in it. It's musical comedy as well. And it's a lot of fun. My husband and I we only watched, I think, the first two. But it is rare for us to watch a show together and both like it. And he liked it. So that was
Nice.
pretty exciting. It's funny, it's silly, but it's also like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to it. It does have some depth. The premise is that there's this woman, Rebecca, who is like this high-powered lawyer in New York City. She went to Harvard and Yale. She has this incredible job. She's just been offered a junior partnership in her law firm, but she's really miserable. And she, on the street, bumps into a guy that she kind of dated when they were in summer camp in high school. And like on a whim, she decides to move to California where he lives. And a lot of it is about, am I crazy or am I, just sort of trying to make a change in my life? Am I chasing this guy or he just happens to live here? But she, just even in the first couple episodes, it's, her developing relationships with the people who she meets there in California. So, and the songs are hilarious so far. So yeah, I think we'll watch more. We watched 2 episodes and that was enough. Like it wasn't one of those shows where you could sit and watch 6 in a row. Because I think there was just too much going on. Yeah. So we just watched 2, but we definitely want to watch more. So.
Okay. I think I watched the first episode and then I've watched some clips on YouTube of different songs that people thought were funny. So I'll be interested to hear how I seem to not be able to keep up with much more than our marathons here.
Right.
But I'll keep that one in mind. If you like it, continue to like it.
Yeah.
I think it get nominated for something in the Emmys. The Emmy nominations came out this week. It seems like it got something. I think maybe not for her, but for the show.
I don't know, but that's a good question. I bet it did.
Yeah, we looked over the Emmy list and saw a whole bunch of shows that we don't watch. And but my rooting interest will be Bill Murray's Christmas, a very Murray Christmas for best TV movie, which it's not a category I would not have expected to find it at all, but certainly not in that category. But you go, I enjoyed that thing a heck of a lot, and it would be really amusing to see it get an Emmy.
And you can listen. We talked about it on the podcast, so you can listen to that.
I will link back to that in the show notes for this episode. Yeah. But all right, well, moving on now to something that I do watch.
You do watch, and you do enjoy.
Because I have to for this at this point. The 4 episodes of Parks and Recreation we watched for the past week are 4 that I really enjoyed. So I was happy to watch those. I thought this was a particularly good 4 with, I guess, a good balance of frustrating politics and just delightful relationship and other hijinks stuff. So the 4 episodes we watched for this week in our Parks and Recreation marathon were all from season 6, Filibuster, Recall Vote, Fluoride, and the Cones of Dunshire, which is the most delightful thing. But what did you think of this foursome in general and in particular?
Yeah, we had some fun stuff going on here. The Filibuster episode that we started with is just really funny because even though it contains our nemesis Jam, Leslie has to do a filibuster because of him. But there's the other plot is that she's planned this 90s themed birthday party for Ben at the roller rink. And so all of the characters are in their 90s outfits. Tom is there with his love interest, Nadia, the hot doctor who's played by Tatiana Maslany. At one point she's talking to Anne and she calls her Blossom because of the outfit that Anne's wearing. Which I just loved. So
I just felt like Tatiana Maslany was having the best time in that.
Yes.
That she was just, she only has to play one character, which has got to be fun.
Right.
And it's a comedy. And I'm sure that's a really fun group of people to work with. And so, I mean, I think it works for the character, too, that the character is a Doctors Without Borders doctor. And she's just goofing off for one night.
She's totally willing to steal a giant stuffed bear from a pregnant woman.
Pregnant woman. And just, having a ball with Tom, I love what Tom said. He's like, not only is he not in her league, it's like she's in the NBA and he works at a muffler shop next to the stadium. which is an amazing amount of self-awareness for Tom Haverford.
Right.
Pat the man on the back. It's so true. But she was just so into it, and she was just teasing him and tweaking him, and it was really delightful to watch. I like that. And Ron against the shooting pinball machine.
Right. Very funny.
Yes. So, he would not quit until he could figure out how to make that work.
How to beat that thing. Absolutely. So that was fun one. And I also enjoyed Fluoride, where Tom brings his business savvy to city government by rebranding Fluoride.
Twice, actually.
Yes.
I like that because they came out on top, that they did not get outmaneuvered.
Yes.
And that Tom was the architect of that, which is just such a perfect thing for him to be doing. And it gets Ben out of the Sweetums Foundation, which really he needed to not be part of that evil empire. And so, yes, that was funny, and Jam got jammed. At that time. But we skipped over recall vote, in which Tom sold his business, but got a little bit of his own there back at the end, which I liked. That was a political one, and that Leslie got recalled, which, begs all those questions that we don't ask, like, how did she get elected in the first place? But it was funny in that the scene where Leslie and Ben almost get tattoos.
Yes. Oh yeah.
They bring back the recurring Brody guy.
Pawn shop guy. Yeah. The whole aftermath was really good of, her, plummet into despair and then just pulling herself right back out because she's Leslie. Well, not pulling herself. I guess she needed help from Anne.
She needed her friends, yes. And to Anne to rescue her from whatever that guy would have done for a tattoo.
Right.
But and her being the horror room for the kids in the haunted house was her talking about her broken dreams and trying to break the kids. But Filibuster and Recall Vote were both two, I think, kind of problematic April episodes. Andy showed up in Filibuster, but it seemed like a really token appearance. And was he even with anybody else other than her? Did they fly her to location with Guardians of the Galaxy?
They did.
Have an scene? It just seemed like, it was cute in what it was, and she was bucking up his confidence and stuff, but he just seemed disjointed. And then in Recall Vote, Chris trying to cheer April up was, didn't work too well. But then she gets her own back in the Cones of Dunshire, amongst many people getting their own back, but her trying to help Ron not sell the cabin or sell she's identifying the hipsters and talking to them in ways that will make them interested in the cabin was pretty funny. And that seemed true to her character. And then buying it at the end for the contents of her purse.
Right. $8 and
Larry's inhaler. And,
right.
And then Donna takes her percentage and
here's a quarter for Tom, because Tom helped out. He was supposed to get a share of the commission.
Right.
Well, and also in Fluoride, April, was the whole thing with April choosing a spirit dog for each person in the department.
Yes, I forgot that subplot.
And the whole thing of her and Donna kind of, Donna saying, my favorite part was Donna, she asked Donna, what's your ideal Sunday? And it was something like, playing my oboe in my hot tub while overlooking Puget Sound or something.
Yeah. You just throw in anything with Donna. It's always fun.
Yeah.
I think she does end up in Puget
Well,
Sound.
She owns a condo in Seattle. That's been established.
I think
so.
We get to next season, but no spoilers. Right. Anyway,
and then the Cones of Dunshire.
Of course, the best thing about the Cones of Dunshire is, in fact, the Cones of Dunshire. the game invented by Ben when he's out of work for a week and when he usually exercises his very bad ideas while wearing his Letters to Cleo t-shirt. Last time it was claymation. This time it is this what does he call it? It's like a one of those games. What is it like? There's another one.
The Settlers
Do you know
of
the Settlers of
Catan
yeah,
or
it's
one of
similar
those.
to that, except it just has so many rules that you roll the dice to see how many dice you roll, and
Right.
and the just so many lines about her. So he's showing it to Leslie, and she has this look of kind of growing.
Like, oh my God, I can't handle this at all.
This can't be good. And so that if listeners, if you're not watching the show, just go Google the Cones of Dunshire and watch the YouTube video of that opening clip, because it is so funny with him explaining this game with such enthusiasm and then catching
complete
realizing.
passion.
And he's just, even as he's talking, he's thinking of new rules. Oh, you should be able to do that. How did I not think about it? These cones are going to be bigger and this and that. And she's just looking like, oh my gosh.
And then the very end of the episode,
yes,
when we
think he's thrown it away. He says he's going to throw it all away. And then he goes to work for this accounting firm that's been trying to get him, where he is like accounting god,
right.
then. And they all worship him. And then he has to leave again because he's going to take Chris's manager job. And then at the end, go ahead.
And then at the end, so as a parting gift to the gang at the accounting firm, he leaves the game, the Cones of Dunshire, in the break room, and they fall on it like a pack of children on a piñata.
Yes,
and they all say,
exactly
I call Ledger Man, which is like the accountant job in the game.
Yes, grab the hat. Oh, that is so wonderful. That is such a great cap on that episode, just because you think it's not going to come back.
Right.
The thing from the beginning was so perfect, and then he's going to throw it away. I know, well, that's kind of sad. And then at the end, it's there in the break room.
There it is, and so perfect
that they're just going to lose their minds over it. Right. So I will say, slight spoiler, that both the Cones of Dunshire and the Letters to Cleo t-shirt recur.
Will return.
In the episodes to come. Yes, they will return. Okay. So, well, apparently I'm having the iced foot clinic in the living room here while I am still recording. So perhaps it's time for us to wrap this up.
Yeah, and we'll just say quickly that we did not do a West Wing this week because the podcast was off.
Yes.
So coming up, there will be for next week, we will watch 4 more Parks and Rec, which are Second Chunce, New Beginnings, Farmer's Market, and Anne and Chris. And then I don't know what the
next West Wing is Celestial Navigation. Okay. The episode, if people have watched it before, amongst other things, it's the one where CJ gets a root canal. So, endless
Poor
laughs.
CJ.
Yes, poor CJ. It is not a good episode, really, for anybody. It's sort of a Keystone Cops at the White House episode. Okay. But anyway, that will be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.